this is where that handheld versus stabilization comes into, thought. There are certain videographers, I'll speak on the video side. There are certain videographers that will swear by having their camera on a gimbal. And in that case, maybe the gimbal for them is more important than other choices that we've laid out. For me personally, I don't use gimbals. I don't like them. I never have. But that doesn't mean it's not for you. Like, you have to make that decision yourself. There are a ton of awesome things you can do with a gimbal.
Yeah, 100%. But there's things that you also can't do with a gimbal that you could do handheld.
Right.
And so it comes at a cost. The best way that I would say to get started with gimbals, if you are getting started, if you've tried to, I would say try to use it a little more often so then you can learn a little bit more with gimbals. And also, if you are just getting started with a gimbal, try getting a gimbal for your phone. And if you enjoy using a gimbal with
It's a really
your
good
phone,
point.
then go ahead and purchase the gimbal for your camera just because it's a little bit cheaper. And at that point, you can learn on just how to maneuver with a gimbal because it's very different. Like for me, when I got started for stabilization, I had a glide cam, which in my mind, when I was going from a glide cam to a gimbal, I thought, oh, it's just the same exact thing. It's stabilization. It's completely different.
Right.
Completely different maneuverability and functions. And also how you are holding the gimbal is even something that will change how you can capture stuff.
Right.
So that's my advice is try it with the phone. If you have one and you put it away because you didn't really do well with it, take it back out. Just continue to use it because that's the only way that you'll get experience from it is just by using it.
And like you brought up earlier, rent one.
Yeah, you can rent
Rent it for a day. Try it out.
Yeah.
What about so I have a very bad story about a monopod, but what about other considerations like that? Is that something that if you're going into a gym, you're going to a competition, you would want to have something like that?
I feel like a monopod itself it's beneficial in certain ways, but I also feel like it's like stuck in between not wanting to use a tripod, but not wanting to go handheld.
You're not like fully committing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't see too many people using a monopod, especially myself. I don't usually ever use a monopod at all, unless if it's for a shot specifically where I have to get a higher angle. That would be the only time that I would actually use a monopod, which it's not that often that I have to get a super high angle. So I steer away from it.
Yeah.
Some people might want it or need it. Maybe they have a camera rig that they can't hold steady.
Right.
Maybe you have shaky hands or you just aren't stable enough. A monopod would be helpful because it's mobile enough where you don't have to put 3 legs down for a tripod and then you don't have to hold it.
Right. Like you have an athlete that's running through, like in high rocks when they're running through stations, stuff like that. Obviously, there's some sacrifices you're making with the amount of fluidity of moving like side to side, up and down and all that kind of stuff, but you have a more stable shot. And then, there's other options out there, of course, but I think the other options are more like advanced, like if you do like a steady rig and like that stuff that you've used in the past that I've seen photos of, which are badass, which Sam will put in right here. Sup, Sam? That type of stuff is a little bit more advanced, so I don't think we need to hit on that. But
no, I don't think so.
I'm glad you agree. You've been very agreeable today. I'm waiting for you to have like a hot take against me here, but
I could have with the gimbal stuff just because
we're gonna have a whole nother conversation about that.